first, I want to thank you. I appreciate the donations. That's some catch my attention this last week. Thank you very much. I'll mention this again if I remember to at the end, so that the latecomers are included in the thank you. Figuring this stuff out, I go through a lot of coffee. What coffee do we drink here? What company?
Starbucks?
Starbucks. I go through a lot of Starbucks coffee, hell of a lot of cigarettes to get all this stuff organized.
God, if you let us know, we could have gotten a product endorsement there. They would have paid us.
Yeah.
Say that.
Thank you for your donations. Anyway, okay. So some of the basic ones that we've been using, there are others, but some of the basic ones that are seem similar to each other, the 1 by to 2 by, 2 by to a 3 by, okay? We're going to stand after a bit, and because I really want to work more on the actual experience of the energies in these dimensional openings, okay? Then we have Bobby, Robert, Nado. Again, same pattern there. Inner, finer dimensions present here, finer. So you're operating from finer in a heavier world. Okay. What else do we have? 1 by 2 by, bad day. It's a bad day. Nothing's working right. Easy, settle. Potentially a fair day as it inner finer dimensions open up. There can be a fair day. Continue the process. Next big step, a good day. Okay, so you have some, what's the word? Not control over control. This should be a proper word. I don't know if control is it, but you have some ability of shifting to inner finer anytime you want to. Okay. Again, if you practice it more in the summer, it'll be there more in the winter when things are really going a little crazy around you and stuff. So practice. Part of the practice will be this inner experience, not an idea just of practice, but the inner experience of the energies that are there. This is important. We'll be going around on that in different ways for a while. I think there was a fourth one, was there? Potted plant, yeah. And the famous potted plant, and then a larger pot, better soil. Those are the interior energies, and they mix up a better plant or meat. Okay, so there's similar patterns, right? Just a change of words helps people, gives you a different slant on the same thing. Okay, where are we? Let's see. Autumn, you're on tonight. I saw your name. That was a good comment or question about sustaining the character. It really kind of follows the same pattern, but it's such a good question. It does come up. How do I sustain? I'm in a good space and suddenly it's gone and I'm gone and whatever. How do you sustain? And that's so important. I'd like to give it its own session, or at least a major part of a Friday coming up soon. I don't know when, but coming up soon. Okay, I'll make sure you're on. But that's a good one. How to sustain this inner development, this inner beingness. Okay.
Thank you, Sensei.
Yes. I don't know where the hell. Last week, what did we do last week? Brad, what did we do last week?
We went over process and went over potted plant, I believe.
Working the potted plant, the process. Okay. Anyway, hello out there. You can open your mic. Before we get started on tonight, any comments on anything past?
Sensei, Linda Eskin,
Yeah. Hi, Linda.
how are you?
Hey, as well as can be expected. Yes.
I've been playing with a sort of unexpected process. I stumbled onto it and it's been working for me this week where I just found a piece of music that inspired me to shift to a level that works better for me in one area. And so I've been playing that in my head and it sort of pulls me into a higher level. So, rather than like you might do a standing, opening, breathing, it's like hear this song in my head
Yeah.
helps me kind of jump up to like, I found myself doing things naturally that would have been very scary or effortful for me.
Yeah, there are different forms of using assisting things to move dimensionally. Okay. If I might bitch, and this is my bitch, not switch up there, better finer up there. It's here. It's here. We keep going up there. We're going to get more into the awareness of it and begin to lose the experience of it. So sorry I'm bitching, but just give everyone a heads up. Careful of our older style of spiritual awareness. Heaven is up there. And all this icky stuff is icky. Get out of here. I got to get to heaven. I'll go over that more clearly another day soon. I've even got some notes down that I've been making on that. But yeah, music, sure. Inner, finer sensing of the music, finer. Yeah, sure. There are a lot of different ways, okay, to facilitate. So yes, thank you. Somebody. Nothing's going on in your life?
Well, the
No.
piece that strikes me is you keep emphasizing this word, experience and
Yes.
talking about the upper realm is I'm somehow picturing your early years in judo and how totally body that has to be in order to really handle those movements, and how someone who meditates, I'm wondering if there's ever a way for them to begin to touch on what you're talking about. And any hints?
I just missed the last part a little bit, Richard. Could you say that again? The last sentence or so?
Well, I'm wondering, I'm wondering, short of going and training judo, even more than Aikido, but something in that dimension to really get that thickness of experience as like, this is not a head trip. Can you help anybody who's not been?
Yes, okay. Can we hold it right there? Right there? There is physical training, judo. But there is inner body training, interdimensional training, and the judo doesn't take care of it. All those heavier things we do don't take care of this inner dimensional energy body. That's the difference. Yes, I was not bad in judo. Yes, I was a pretty good jock. Yes, I was a gym rat, pumped those iron, bum, bum. Day after day, but week after week, month after month, year after year. I was a gym rat. But the interdimensional development took me a while to figure out how that worked. Okay. So my physical capability of being physical is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an interdimensional body, if you would.
Well, let me try this once more. I think approaching the inner awareness coming from the body presence that you had, as opposed to where most meditators are starting from. And I guess I'm looking for cheap tricks. Is there anything short of getting on doing that kind of bodybuilding stuff to get physical? And I don't know if there's an answer. It's just.
No, don't, you don't have to get heavy in the physical to get started. Just a body, easy, a body. Okay, a body. Now, inner finer. You don't need to be a Superman physically or the greatest jock in town to do this. You see? Again, I was pretty good physically, but I still didn't know inner dimension active. That's my question when I went to Japan. It's beautiful here in my meditative dimensionality. It was gorgeous. I was going great guns spiritually. But does it really, really work here? I knew there was a dribble down. Okay. I knew it affected me a bit. But the fullness of this inner, and that's when I saw a sense. I said, whoa, yes, it does function here. But how do we really get at the level here where it functions here? I don't know if I'm saying it well, but I think I have a layout coming up soon, not tonight, but soon, that I might say these things better. But it's not that you can run around the track, you've got body. That's it. That's the end of it. We're talking dimensional. I can't say it for right now any better. Is that good enough to tide us over? Richard?
Thank you. Thank
Good.
you very much.
Tide us over, yeah. I'll try to go over this whole scenario a bit better on another night soon. Oh. Yeah. See, that's why we were bringing up words like inner sensing experience, not body experience. Yes, you start with that. Yeah. Now, inner sensing finer experience. Keisha, you on tonight? He's not?
He is. He is on.
I'm here.
Anything about inner body as to what we were talking about? Worth saying? I put you on the spot.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm just trying to think of something good to say here that would be hopefully useful. Our practice of in the meditative way of working in, if it doesn't include the body in the way that Richard was noting, in the more physical way with the martial art, like with the judo, it doesn't have to have that kind of intensity to still be very central, because meditators will lose it by coming up into their heads and just spend a lot of time kind of in the, I don't want to say fantasy world exactly, but in the abstraction of finer so-called states. And it doesn't really touch into the fact that you need to connect that into all the dimensions of our being, which of course includes the physical body. And
dimensionality that exists, what to say, at that level, at that arena.
Right. And without that, you don't get the groundedness. You get people floating out and abstracting concepts, and it can be very fine. It can actually be very beautiful.
Oh yeah.
But I think one of the gifts of Aikido is that the way that it brings some aspect, at least potentially, can bring the contemplative aspects together with the embodiment aspects. And that's a real gift. That's pretty unique. Yeah, there is some of that, we could say, in the Chinese arts, like in Tai Chi, but just like it's rare to find in Aikido, it's rare to find in Tai Chi as well.
And so we shouldn't broadly say Aikido will do this, because a lot of people do physical Aikido. And the inner sense and what happens, there are degrees from very little to a little bit more, but it's almost like we have to draw the line and say how Sensei performed Aikido, where he was coming from, what level he was at in his performance, or the happenings that were happening, or a great Tai Chi master, not everybody in the park in San Francisco
That's right.
putting their arms around kind of thing. That's nice. They'll settle a bit and all of that. But the great master Tai Chi, he's got something else going on there. That his inner is affecting the outer, and he's special. So I'm thinking of the greats. Yeah. Anyway, blah blah blah.
Yeah, and one other thing I'll say that I think is important and relevant is that you've helped to translate the meditation aspect, or I would call it the contemplative aspect. It's really working with meditation and the art of Aikido. In my view of only having practiced Aikido for a mere 50 years, it's pretty rare to have that that connection. So I'm just like everyone here. I'm grateful.
If you want for a moment, Tija did a write-up, under his title, Tija Roshi did a write-up for a Dr. Yang or Yang?
Yeah, Dr. Yang, yeah. Dr. Yang,
a Buddhist priest and Taoist practitioner. And he sent me what he wrote. And I told him I really like the phrase grounded actualization.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that word. Now, I don't know what people are going to do, actualization and whatever, but grounded. And in that realm, dimensionally, actualizing the energies internally to have that, actualize that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And if in actualizing the inner finer, you happen to perform better on the outer, so be it. But you don't need a better outer to whatever we're trying to say, what I was trying to say to Richard. It's an inner development that may manifest outwardly.
Right. Exactly, Sensei. The point about actualization is it's not just an on and off switch. It's not just a particular place. It is a growing.
Yes, it's not one level or one dimension.
Level. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it continues and continues and continues. What's that animal running around back there?
Yeah, that's one of my kittens. She's a wild one. They're all over the place.
Okay, I better stand here. People, are we okay so far? Sort of, kind of, roughly. Yeah. Okay. All right. Just a reminder. Well, let's see how the cameras work over here. Oop-ah. Okay. Don't know if you can read that, but it's 1 by 2 by Bobby Robin. Okay, 1 by 2 by. Okay, so we'll pass on the 1 by because that we were doing a constrained form. Easy, easy, easy. Settle and a sense of opening. A sense of inner opening, settling, grounding, if you would, inner opening. There's a sense here of a little more room. If I got a quick image of it, I saw a little bigger circumference. Okay, let's call that a 2 by 2. Easy. As I hang out in the 2 by 2, I don't know everything yet. I'm just my earlier presence with it, in it. 2 by 2. Oh, a center starting to show. Okay, there's a center. Don't forget there is a circle. Okay, easy, and okay, center and circle, and just a vague sense of something moving. So let's call those energies. In a 2x2, centered and circled, a bit more room than whatever 1x was. Energies. Now, by law, each dimension should be finer. So these energies are finer than heretofore for me. And finer energies makes up a better centered character. Okay, now here, not just an idea. What to say here? As if breathing in the energies, I sometimes call it slurping. The energies are a sense of they're active and they're mixing. They're mixing. I sort of check the body's reaction. Getting a little wider in the back. A little sense of wanting to straighten more. Not perfect feet connection, but not bad or better than it was. So there's an enhancement on this inner feeling body, inner energy body. Okay. And at first, might be hard to feel myself as this inner energy body, but I can feel a reaction by my physical body. Straightening, a little stronger in the back. Feet aren't bad and not great, but they're connecting fairly. I don't want to do a lot of movement. I wouldn't want to get into a boxing practice now. I'm not loose enough. But to just be present. Yeah, it's fairly easy. Basic, simple body moves. Okay. And I'd hang out in a 2x2, continuing to experience the energies as they mix up a character me. I'm a 2x2er. I'm beginning to breathe deeper as a 2x2er. Not fantastic because I'm a lousy breather, but I'm starting to breathe a little fuller as a 2x2. My rib cage seems to be opening up. I have a little more, I don't know, say room. I'm not so congested. Yeah. A fair sense of things. I'm almost ready to smile, not quite, but I can sort of feel soon I'll break out into a smile. So this inner niceness radiating out to my physical. And the sounds I'm making are natural. I didn't make that up, it just happened. It's about the level I'm at. Okay. So, and then if we're going to continue on a 1x2 3x, we'd settle this one down, trade it in, whatever your words are. And in that trade in, we'd move into the next finer dimension. So whether you're using a dark down or a trade in, we've talked about the different forms. Easy the eye. And as the eye lets go of the 2x2, easy. It's part of that opening to the next, and the next will be a 3x3. And we repeat the pattern at a 3x3, do the same things. Let the energies mix and all of that. But I go through all the same things. Center, circle, make sure there's more room to let me know I'm actually in a 3x3. The energies will start to show. The 3x3 show a little clearer than they did in the 2x2. Again, show, the kind of visual, I don't see that. It's a sense feeling showing. Easy. There just seems to be more color, more aliveness to the energies, which I didn't feel that much in the 2x2. And I'm sort of sense feeling it now. And we just continue the same pattern. Okay? So, shifting forms, patterns, Bobby Robert Nadeau. Okay? Bobby, pitiful guy, Bobby, in my languaging. As Bobby settles, easy the eye, Bobby, easy. As he settles, he's moving towards a potential next dimension. Easy. And the next dimension starts to open and show. Or I didn't experience that happening. Begin to sense a little more room. Robert, easy. Just a word, I don't have yet a feeling experience of Robert. This is an approach to Robert's land, the dimension that mixes up a Robert. Easy, don't outthink it to death, easy. Let it begin to show more room, energies, mixing. Robert. Starting to feel Robert. A little chestier. I could take a half a punch. Boom. A little more positively here. In my macho form. I'm a little more, hey, I'm here. Hey, not ready to fight, but hey, I'm here. Okay? So this inner Robert, his mixing up inner Robert, I can begin to feel that emanate out to here. He doesn't walk so much as the beginnings of striding. He steps different. Robert. And then we go into, after you spend a little time feeling, your attitude, your view on the world, your philosophy, after you feel. So I would do feeling first. And then what catches your attention? What interests you in the world? Something like that, okay? So you get the fullness of Robert, his body and his viewpoint, philosophy, attitude. Okay? So, and Nadeau would be a continuation into the next dimension where the energies are finer, and it would mix up a Nadeau. And we continue to whatever form you want to use. Nadeau sensei, okay, whatever. Okay, are we sort of okay so far? The other pattern, bad day, fair day, good day. Okay, again, a bad day is like not a 1 by 1, say a 1.5 by a 1.5. One's a little tight the way that we first presented one. Okay, so easy. Geez, bad day. I'm dropping my keys and things aren't quite clicking, and I seem to be not quite with it. Oh, okay. So noted. Okay. Easy. So there is that world of bad day and the character, whoever is in that world of bad day. Easy. I settle, I trade it in, I do a bit of downtime, whatever form you like. We've covered before different forms. Here's where you might want to turn the music on and use the music to help move you into this next level. Okay. And then that brings you to a fair day, easy. I've got a little bit too much mind about the bad day, so not good enough. Clear some more. Fair day. This is a sense. I'm sorry, I can hear the word of it's easier or be easy, something easy. Oh, let me think about that word. Not now. Just stay with the energy sense of things here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, flow. Things and feels, it's the early beginnings of sensing it like liquid flowing, just the early stages, but flowing easy. On a fair day, things flow a bit. Flow a bit. My reaction, if I were to come out and check the physical, if I had a tight thing here, at this level, it would be much looser and would flow more. Easy, fair day. Fair day has more room. Don't forget your base or roots or ground. Fair day space. Easy. Freer flowing. And sort of a halfway. Well, things aren't so bad or things aren't too bad, but they're not great yet. So fair day. And it's not bad, could be worse. Fair day. And I hang out and there'll be a mix and there'll be a fair day guy in a fair day circumference, a fair day. Okay. And then we continue the pattern and do the same thing for a good day. Okay. We're on potted plant already. We turn the page for the famous potted plant. Whoops. There we go, famous potted plant picture. Okay. Now, the importance of the potted plant pattern is the soil. That's the energies of the lower part that we've been trying to play with a bit here. So it's not just, oh, how many different flowers can there be? And oh, that plant is similar to that plant. That's all very nice awareness stuff. But in the actual practice, the size pot you're in, okay, playing the potted plant, size pot you're in, the soil, nutrients, sometimes we call them energies, are there. And because they're there with their energies, minerals, whatever, the plant, the centered me being, the plant sucks up those, lets those mix, and the plant is affected. I feel taller. Fuller. Okay, so taking advantage of the finer soil or finer energy dimensions, where the energy is finer, and letting that mix. Oh, don't forget the roots or base, ground, we have different words. Because as you go dimensional, it should also be a sense of a little more depth to include the more of the supportive energies, the other half of the picture. You got the awareness half, and now you've got the actual stuff half. And we play with the soil and the nourishment of the soil like we did the other forms. Okay, that it's mixing or the plant is intaking the nutrients from the better soil. If we move into a bigger pot, then there's more, what's it grow? Miracle grow. The soil has a lot of miracle grow in it. And so, wow, you really light up. But the sense of this stuff is being important, not just the idea of it. Oh yeah, the finer energy. Oh yeah, super grow dirt. Oh yeah, got it. I understand. That's well, such as they put it in your body. That's an idea. It's a concept. Fine, great. It got us started. But now there's this part. This part. Inner finer. If the inner finer naturally outflows, so you probably produce a bit better out here. That's nice, but that's to me secondary. It's a secondary check. It's this inner sense of experiencing, this inner experiencing that's important. Yeah. See, not to put Aikido down, but some people get a little, they settle, they get a little inner sense of being settled, whatever, and then they perform techniques, and oh, it's better. And then they, well, what about this technique? Oh, and what about that technique? And what about, and they just continue out with the outer of things and forget the actual experience continuing of inner. And I say they, after all, tend to pay lip service. Oh yeah, we know that philosophy, we do Aikido, but knowing it and actually hanging out in it, mixing it, letting it do what it's supposed to do. Again, that's critical.
Okay, feel that skylight. Excuse me, people.
We have open mic going on.
Yeah.
Okay, I think sort of covered it. Sort of.
So tell me, like everybody else, am I crazy, or when you watch Bob move in his body like that, don't you know that's a level of training that's like, it's special.
But again, it's not.
I remember, Bob, just if I can get a little humor in here, the one guy who said the minute he saw you, he knew that you had it more than any teacher he saw. It was just that you smoked cigarettes, so he couldn't train with you. And I said, wait a minute. That's one of Bob's best qualities.
That's my MO. Anyway, but if there's better movements, it's because there's an inner character beingness. Okay. If I stray away from my inner and get into Bobby land, I can't move very well. You throw 3 attackers at me, they're going to kill me. I have to get to this level, and then things begin to happen at this level. Okay. So I work the dimensional level, and I check outer just to check for a moment. Not hours and hours and hours of outer off of the little bit of inner I got. You're going the wrong way. The other way around. A lot of inner, a little outer check, fine. More inner. You want to check outer after a while? Okay. But do the inner actual experiential work. Okay. So major in that, and I don't know what to say, minor in the outer. I don't know if I said it great, but again, we're going to come around on this topic in different angles on it. I want to go over it again a bit with Autumn's good comment about sustaining. Another soon on a Friday, we'll do that. Might want to lay out a bigger picture of our history of being upper, finer meditation. Let's call that the age of awareness. And now more and more, I think, should be the age of experience. The experience. Okay. And that's why the Tai Chi masters have come up. That's why the O Sensei, very good at saying, yes, it's time for this now. Time for this. So anyway, it's a different time. I want to lay that out, hopefully clearly. I hope. Where the hell are we, people? Anything on? Inner sensing, the finer energy dimension, the energy there will mix up a better level of you. Okay. Are we getting sort of okay with that sense? Comments?
If anyone has a comment, please just open your mic.
Evening, Sensei. This is Sassoon.
Hey, Sasha.
I'm just going to piggyback on Autumn's comment. Number of times I've done my mixing and come back, oh, I'm doing well, and then walk into a day and walk into a door, so to speak. And I've come back to processing, but the sustaining part will be a very good,
Yeah.
I think will be a very good piece to, well, I did all the thing, it felt good, and then walked right into a door and it lost it all.
You lost it, yeah. Yeah, very common, very typical. So we'll cover, when we cover this, maybe next week, we'll see, the ability of sustaining it for a longer period of time. Yeah, tricks of the trade. But be pretty much based on what I'm doing, but we'll bring it up in that context of sustaining. Okay. And what happens when we can't sustain it? What are we doing when we lose it? Stuff like that. But for next Friday or whenever.
Right. And maybe just let people know how often it can be done. You can come back and do it many times a day and get faster and quicker.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you mentioned Sensei does it and can do it in a moment. I've often done a walk to the water fountain and back and try to go through the process again.
Yeah, used to be one of my practices when I first came back from Japan. I was working in a factory, and I would practice from my workstation to the bathroom or water fountain. That was gave me a chance to practice for a moment. At coffee break, I'd often go hide out behind the boxes and practice, actual practice. Yeah, practice.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, but we'll try to cover it better when we cover that sustaining question. Okay.
Sensei, this is Tisha again.
Hey, Tisha again.
Yeah. So I want to lean in just for a second to the thing that Moon was mentioning, and he was talking about as he noticed how you move, and you can see that development in good Aikidoists that have practiced well and wisely, and good Tai Chiists that have practiced well and wisely over time. But it comes back to that word that we were using earlier, the actualization. It is another word I would use in relationship to that is a quality of embodiment. And that actualization is really for you and for those of us at our various levels has been integrated into our system. So it's very fast. You know, you don't have, you're laying out the map for us in the process, but actually it's pretty darn quick, maybe even instantaneous in some instances, in some ways.
But before we tell people it's instantaneous, and I have an idea about instantaneous, and that won't be it. So you really should not mind. I don't mind. Why do you mind?
I don't.
Going level, or you people.
Yes.
Us people. You people mind starting at your Bobby level, if that's where you're at, and going over the basics. Oh, I'm Bobby. Oh, but no, but I should be the great Nado Sensei or the great spiritual being. And you're trying to do it with an idea and it won't be quite right. So
Yeah, if you don't
mind
have that map, then you can't get to Autumn's sustainability.
the
Yeah,
map.
yeah,
Yeah, get very familiar with the map. Don't mind going over the map.
yeah.
Yeah, don't be, don't get so idea superior that I don't need a map. I'm this great being. That's it. You screwed it all up.
That's arrogance. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, here.
Thank you.
So, but as you go through the map and you get really versed on the how it works, and you're present with it, and at certain levels you're soaking in it, and you get very comfortable with how it works. And then someplace there you'll be able to skip one. Hey! So in that hey, you're already changing. So it can get very fast. But again, don't mind going through the stages. Nothing wrong with that. It's very important. Don't know how to say it any better. Yeah. Yeah. So we always have to be careful of how fast it's going to get, because some people have that concept and they won't actualize it. There we go.
There you
It
go.
won't be actual. There'll be an actual idea, but it won't be an actualize.
Embodied, real, we'd call it real for sure.
Embodied. Yeah, and again, I want to change the word instead of embody, which sounds like my physical body, embodied. Finer inner can manifest outer. Yeah. Anyway, don't mind going over your first simple steps, even though they feel like baby steps. Double check them. See if you missed anything through these many years. Is there something more there in that first simple process of Bobby to Robert, say, for example, that you may have missed something? I don't mind double checking. Being open instead of, well, I'm Bobby to Robert. Oh yeah, I know all about that. Well, that's it. If there's a little thing you missed in there, you may not catch it because no, I already know that. So sometimes I'm honest. Tisha, help me with the word here. Honest. I'm open to anything that I may have missed in doing my kindergarten approach or my grammar school approach. What's the word? Open to corrections?
I would say authentic. Authentic is not a bad reference
for me. Give me another word.
Genuine.
You're not helping. Noah.
Okay. Very good.
Bob?
Based on absorbing the nutrients of the level you're at.
Based on what nutrients?
Absorbing the nutrients at the level that you're at.
Actually, fully absorb the energies of the level you're at and be open for anything you may have missed there. As opposed to, I know, I've done this before, the hell, blah, blah, blah. Take your time.
I might have gotten vitamin A, but I missed vitamin C.
Could be, yeah. Yeah, you got a vitamin A, you say, oh shit, I got this is easy. But you may have missed, there's a vitamin C there. Yeah. So I would say, be open. I don't know, be open for correction or be open for additions that you may not have noticed. Be allowing of the more of potential of things, even at these earlier levels, just to double check, and then tomorrow double check again, whatever, something like that. Yeah.
I like that, Sensei. This is Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Last summer, I was planting in my garden. I had the starter vegetables, and here, let's see, and being very absorbed in the soil and the nutrients I was putting in the soil, and the starters were happy. I was nourishing the situation, but suddenly I got nourished by it. I felt open to a greater sense of self, and while I'm nourishing, I was also being nourished, and that's really stuck with me as part of my process of being receptive.
Yeah.
There's
Let's see if we can add something to that. In my early years, I used to like hanging out with a tree. I don't know if you would call me a tree hugger, but I didn't mind sitting in front of a tree or near a tree and sort of getting the flavor of how the tree is with itself. And in doing that, then of course, within my system, things were going on. If the tree sort of inferred it was deeper than what I could at first see, then shortly followed by, oh, I'm deeper. I have deeper going down here. If the tree said to me, I draw a lot of nutrients from my roots. Yeah. And shortly thereafter, I'm similar. I draw nutrients from this deeper root, and I draw nutrients. So I think you're trying to say that in doing that, your system at a certain level mimics it or does its form of it or something. Blah, blah. Yeah. Say it better than me, Tom. You've got better wording than I do.
Well, no, there's an active experience and a passive experience. There's a receptive experience where I'm allowing the experience to happen rather than trying to direct the experience. And so I see these things happening simultaneously a lot, even in my training and in my experience of my dimensionality as well. It comes out of the dimensionality.
Could we also say that some people are aware of the process? Oh, better soil, and the plant's going to use that, and it's going to grow better. I don't know what to say. Or could we say that if they themselves were a little more settled and open while they were doing this, then it'd be quite possible that as they're enjoying setting up the plants, that they begin to, I'm being nourished.
Yes.
That if they're, and maybe because they're aware of it, and I'm going to do a good job, and this is and this minerals for the plant and whatever. But somebody who's a little more settled might naturally be, my God, it's affecting me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Healers have that healers have that sense. You can't heal somebody unless they're grounded, and you have to be grounded too. But in the healing process, one also is healed. When one is teaching, one is learning while they're teaching. They're actually, I've heard from many teachers who say, now that I'm teaching, I'm actually learning more. I'm actually getting, my technique is better now, whether it's dance or Aikido or golf or whatever.
Yeah.
My technique is better now that I'm nourishing another's technique. Mine has suddenly become better.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Yeah.
And there's a short form of that where I learned a lot being a good uke, really feeling what they were doing and just being really present. I learned a lot, which sort of fits in there someplace. But anyway, yes. Yeah. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Sensei, it's Matt Hack here.
Oh no, the strange. We'll try.
I was just going to add, you're looking for like a word. Each time is like a new experience.
A what experience?
A new Brand new.
Brand new, thank you. Brand new experience. Yeah, that's good. I often have that sense as if this is for the first time, brand new. Yeah. Yeah. Just so I don't carry in my, I know all about this. I really can't learn anything new because I already know everything. It's brand new. That's a sort of, for me, an honesty factor and an openness factor. Yeah, I think it's kind of important. Thank you for that.
Sensei, Sean here.
Hey, Sean there.
I think that another, well, there's a curiousness, a willingness to be curious about how I can notice more and experience more. Just be more me, more capable.
Yeah. As you were talking, the word inquire came to me again.
Yeah.
Inquire. Yeah.
Well, or for me, it's more like a curiousness, or to be inquisitive about how things are different. I mean, like first how things are different. What's that?
How things work.
How things work. How things are working. Currently. I mean, for me, I jump over, as you know, that sense of like. Skipping a little levels or something. I feel like there's maybe an arrogance, and it's that sense of being humble and curious, actually curious about what's currently going on. What is the feedback I'm getting? I feel like I do. Yes, I can see where I project. Yeah.
Let me jump in.
Yep.
That's what I do on my front porch. I inquire about how things work. That's where I spend hours trying to let things unfold and clarify to me. Okay. Very important piece of work. Now, should we say running around in daily life, there's a lot of things you're not going to really set up perfect to go get a hamburger. Okay, but you should have hopefully some time, place in your life where you do settle and inquire or whatever, be open to whatever. Doesn't mean you have to do it. Oh, wait, I'm going to stand up now and I have to do this and this and this. There's a lot of stuff we just skip on. I don't think I do a lot of spiritual work when I go buy a hamburger or cup of coffee at wherever I go to. All right. I think we're allowed to jump over the small things of life, but someplace. See, I can't. One reason to go to Aikido is I can't do that in Aikido. I have to get present and begin to open up, or I can't perform. Right. So it forces me, if you would, reminds me, if you would, to do a process. Okay. If I didn't have Aikido, I'd have something else. Okay. Anything. I used to like to throw a tennis ball up against a wall. Bing, bing, bang. Bing, bing, bang. Because I would use that to settle. And I get a little tired of missing the ball or something and settle, get to a better level and bing, bing, bang. So I would always come up with something to remind me about what I don't know what to call it, my practice, my process. Okay. And I think it's good to have your major like Aikido or whatever, and another one, side one. I think it's cool. Gives you a double check, a different angle. For example, if Steve were an if we're an Aikido guy, he'd have his baseball as major and his Aikido as secondary, or vice versa. Just as a double check on how things work. No trick of the trade. No. Okay. If you get something out of having a minor check practice, feel free. Where the hell are we? Hello out there?
Hi, Sensei, it's Mike
Mm-hmm.
from down below.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the words, one of the words, two words that that come to my mind about kind of the state that we want to remain in terms of just progressing in life is curious, staying curious, and also staying humble. Two qualities that I think are good for not allowing the ego to overwhelm us.
Okay. And again, we should have taken the ego thing. Maybe we should have started with that. Easy the eye. Easy the eye. Okay. So that the identity of the self that's wrapped around in Bobby and wrapped around in Robert gets a chance to disengage. Easy the eye is a good travel trick to move into finer and allow the things of the finer to show and be there and hopefully to be experienced at that level in that dimension. Don't know if I said exactly what you were saying, but I liked what I said. Hello out there, Mike.
I was also going to say that one of the things that's I've definitely come to understand over the years with you is that, and it wasn't my way of looking at things prior, is that even when I'm in a very small negative space, that all the resources I need are there. It's just that I've almost put up a wall around them. It's not that there's a scarcity of anything. It's
called the membrane. If Bobby's locked into his world. So we've talked about all the tricks of recognizing it and the ability of moving into the next dimension. Those walls aren't brick, although they may feel like it at first. Not really. Easy, easy. So we learned certain tricks to pass through those walls. Easy the eye is one of them. Breathing could be used, another one. Using music to help transport you from a heavier level to a finer level. Sure. Whatever. Okay, we lay out a few examples, but then find ones that are cool for you, that do the job, the same job. Could we go? So yeah.
I think your word for the walls, you used the word membrane, and I actually think that's a really good word for looking at those perceived barriers that stand in front of us.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I was in solitary confinement for a short period of time, and in my bad years, and very tight space. I immediately started doing inner work, inner finer, where I had more room. So the actual physical walls that were here weren't on me, because I instantly went into this finer dimension where the sense of more room was there. And maybe those walls are still a fact, of course, but this is a fact. This is an experiential fact. So I mentioned an example following exactly that of the LA group back when we used to meet in a big living room, but a lot of people. And we'd meet there once a month, I think, and spend the day, maybe the weekend, I don't remember now. And after a year plus, one guy said, "Hey, it's crowded." But it took him a year plus. That means 12, 13, 14, 15 sessions of being in the same room with the same group of people, noticing it was suddenly crowded, because we'd immediately go into energy dimensional work, whatever we were calling it in those days. And in that inner finer, there's more room. So nobody bitched about it being crowded, because it wasn't the same. If you were in the normal body, then it's crowded. Inner world, body, sense of things, plenty of room. So same story, same sense. Yeah. Yeah. See, a lot of our problems we have in the world is things in the heavier bother us. So again, let's make a law against that. Yeah, fine. But let's go to an inner, finer dimension where maybe you're not bothered by that. Okay. Maybe you should develop your inner self instead of just working the outer self. Okay. But you can debate that. I don't want to get into that debate, but I like that sense of it. Yeah. Anyway.
It's not for correcting others, it's for correcting your own mind.
Yeah. How can we stop the wars? Well, at the moment, I don't think we can. They're fighting all over the world. They have been for year after year, for generations. Yeah, it's too bad, but you better find some inner peace or inner harmony or inner understanding, so that doesn't drive you crazy. Okay. All right. And if in being in inner peace and enough people are there, potentially a whole bunch of people with inner peace, maybe there wouldn't be any wars because they'd all be operating from inner peace. We just don't have enough people. 3 is not going to be enough to fight that 300 million or however many there are who are into conflict, whatever. But take care of yourself, take care of yourself, take care of yourself. Develop yourself. Yeah. At first, it might have a selfish sense to it, but it's not really, because you'll get the true self, which is not selfishness. Yeah, it's inner development, inner, where the truer self can show. So it is very personal. Oh, something like the word personal. It's very personal. At first, in the Bobby, Robert, Nadeau levels, we have to try to disengage, easy the eye, because that personal is a little weird, normal weird. So we disengage from that one. But as we continue and the self gets clearer, present, clearer, it's very personal in that the self is experiencing how the universe works and how those energies mix up, and a better level of self. So it gets very personal, but we have to, for lack of words, depersonalize early in the game to then get to a level where it becomes very personal, but not at an ego level. It's a much better level. And words like we might use with a tight ego aren't really proper here. They don't feel right, or they don't exist here. Hopefully, now there might be some weird guy who can continue into finer and finer and be really weird. It's feasible. Anything is feasible, Jesus. But not really. How do we get into that? Where are we? Where are we?
Sensei, we're at 7:45 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time.
I've got
Standard time.
in front of me here.
Okay.
I have my own clock. Thank you.
Okay. And so we can wrap it up anytime you'd like.
Okay, hang on a minute. Wow,
Oh, we're at 39.
okay, holding. Again, for those that came in a bit later, I want to thank you again for contributions. They're welcomed, well received. Okay. Starbucks likes when I come in. Anyway.
How are you doing, Bob? You done for the night? You want to talk a little bit more? What's up for you?
Just hanging.
As you were talking about that last pass, there's a phrase they quote from O Sensei. I don't know if you ever heard it, but he said something about reciprocating echoes. I don't know if that relates at all for what you were talking about, but my sense is your work is your work, and it still affects everything else, even though not as much as you might wish.
Reciprocating. Okay, when he talked about reciprocating, it wasn't so much, I'll be nice to you and you be nice to me. Although that happens. If I'm in a better zone, the salespeople probably smile at me and I go, oh, and I'll smile back better. So there's that kind of reciprocity. Whew. Certain words are hard for me. But he's also talking about the great beats of the universe. Boom, boom. Now we're getting into the truer, bigger of things. So yeah, depends on what level you want to play his words at. And I don't know if I said anything intelligent there or useful at the moment.
I appreciate it. I feel like it's because it isn't really one or the other. It's this. I can't talk about it because I don't understand it. That's why I don't teach, Bob.
Okay. You may have heard the word tonight, inquire. Possibly you want to go there and let it unfold. Inquire. The actual energies that exist also in the inquiry, as opposed to just a mental bouncing around. Whatever you want to do. Anyway, hello out there. Anything before we finish up?
Sensei, this is Liam Robertson.
Hey.
Hey, I just had a question. Maybe it's for another day, but just what was just brought up and what you've been talking about looking at the what can we do to kind of notice the signposts between the inner and outer energies as they're kind of coming. Say the outer energies you were saying, smiling.
Okay, you're talking people level here.
Yeah, a people level, and then how we work that to find.
Okay, in people level, you know their outer energies because it's Joe coming at you.
Yeah.
Inner is this inner sense of things. I'm sorry, I'm being a little facetious with you.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But
now,
okay.
As you go finer in dimensional, finer, there'll be both the inner energies and the world in the finer, the world or circumference you're in, circle, center to circle and circle to center. But both of those are going on at a better level in your inner system. So we have that outer, inner, outer. Okay, but you brought it up like out here in the world. And
yeah,
that's why I got facetious with you.
No, that's fine. Maybe to ask it better too is how does one notice how to stay better balanced with that outer, inner, outer?
I think we'll cover that. Bring that up when soon, maybe next week. I don't know. Soon we'll get into the sustaining piece. I think that question will fit right in there.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So do say it again that way when we're doing that show. Just
all right. Thank you.
Thank you. We finishing up, people?
Sensei, this is Bill Huey from San Diego. I train under David Goldberg. I think you know who I am. I come to Mountain View occasionally.
I try to forget who you are, but we'll let that go for now. I haven't seen you for a while.
I've been lurking around, and I just don't talk because everybody else is talking. I just want to be polite because everybody seems to want to talk to you.
Nobody else is polite. Why should you be here? Join the club.
That's not
anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's not how I roll. I roll rough, so I got to be careful. So I'll just say that. Okay, this is a little code between me and you. Okay.
Okay.
So something that happened in the last couple of years for me in my training with you is I'm able to have the inquiry of fullness, and I ask myself when I move and I take a Ukemi or whatever it is, and it's the same thing. I found is front, back, left, right. I found that there's a certain fullness that is expressed, and I can ask the question of my body: am I symmetrical? Am I full? And if I'm full, that often gives me the answer to the technique that I'm not doing right. And what I'm working on right now is not just big movements which are big and obvious, but in something in a more contained space, because it's a little more subtle and it requires deeper listening. And I wanted to tell you that that's what I'm working on right now. And thank you for opening it for me.
Yeah. Yeah, both have a place. A lot going on in the smaller movements, a lot to be seen in the bigger movements. But yeah, both. Did it? We had a professor of jujitsu in the area. He's probably still alive. He's one of the ancient ones, and he created small circle jujitsu.
Wally J. Wally J.
Yes, I know who it is. I just didn't know. Throws the name out. And he created small circle. And I'm not quite sure, but it would seem to me that he was doing the smaller form of things, and putting a lot of emphasis on that and experience with that. So that's my guess. And he had done a little Aikido with me, or not with me, but we trained in the same dojo in my early, my beginning days. There we go. And I was wondering if he didn't catch on something in the Aikido where he said, "Oh yeah," and started to work the smaller of things. Just my guess. I don't know, but anyway, something to be gained out of small and something to be gained out of big. Yeah. So yes, thank you.
Thank you for that. I'll mute now and kill my video. Thank you.
Okay.
By the way, good to see you. I miss training with you, and I miss you personally, and I'm sure a lot of people feel that way as well. And if I can come up to Mountain View, I would love to train with you again. But I just wanted to express that sentiment to you. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. We'll see. People, did we burn that one out?
Nice words, Bill.
Yeah, that was very nice. And Sensei, I relate to that as he's creating some sustainability between changing from large to small or spatial reference. It reminds me, the spatial reference thing reminds me, and sustainability reminds me of I'm going into the grocery store, I've got my list, I'm in my car, and I've got my 5 things in my head. I come out of the store and I've only got 2 things. And what happened? I went into a bigger space, there were more people and the lights were brighter. And I'm like, I know I can do this. And I'm 70 years old, but
there's the answer right there.
Well, hold on a second.
Once you turn 70, people, that's it. You're a goner.
Yeah, I hear you. But anyway, this whole concept of sustainability and spatial reference and what he brought up seems to all flow for me. So it was very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, people.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you very much, Sensei.
Next week.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Bob.
And
Thank you,
remember,
everyone.
to practice.
Thank you.
I only did a moment, of slurping the energy and mixing. I only did a moment, more than a moment. Come on, 10 minutes, more than 10 minutes. Practice.
Well, what you said about, you're walking to the water fountain. I mean, you couldn't get any simpler to say that it's there all the time. And I really guess I want to acknowledge too, I think I caught that early on. I'm very grateful for that piece. And it means we're always, or should be, always training.
Yeah, always training.
Yeah. And there are times where you just go to a water fountain because you want to drink. You don't feel like doing a process. That's okay. But someplace in your life, it would be nice for you to practice. That's all. Okay. So no hard, fast rules. I'm not that Catholic. And if you don't practice on your way to the water fountain, you're going to hell. We're not going that far, people, but do the best you can. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Sensei.
Thank you again.
Sensei.
Thanks again. Good night.
Thank you,
Good night,
Sensei.
everyone. Thank you all.
Thank you,
Good
Sensei.
night.
Good night.
Thank you, Sensei. Good night, all.
Good night, everyone. See you next week.
Lauren, thank you so much.
Thank you, Moon.
Yes, thank you to the team as always. This is a very special gift, and you guys make it happen.
Thanks, Mike. How's Danny doing?